Hi, this is an update to the stove and the shower for an emergency situation. I actually was going to add this to the other part of the video that I uploaded, but it just didn't get uploaded, so I'm going to upload it. Um, you know, I figured I'd make a separate video on this one. If you need an emergency cook stove, wood stove, and you do not want to ruin a large pan to put your wood in, you can always make an extremely small one. Now, what I'm going to use is a sirloin burger can, and what I normally would use would be a large metal coffee can, but I'm going to show you how to do it right now. First thing I do, if I'm going to make this into a stove, I need some holes in the bottom. So I take my regular can opener, and instead of putting it on like you would normally open a can, like this, I'm going to put on like this. And I'm going to pop some holes. And you can see here, I already did some of the can. Then I'm going to stick a knife in there and just open that up. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Okay, if you got your hole in deep enough, you can use a butter knife. Stick in the hole and just make it larger. And if it didn't quite go through, just take a screwdriver and a hammer and just pop it through. But generally this works pretty well. And you can see right here it's opened up. There we go. Now you're more than welcome to open it up more if you like, using a screwdriver or anything else, or just kind of work it a little bit with your butter knife. Make the hole a little bit bigger if you like. You want to make sure your wood in here gets air. This is going to be a very small emergency cook stove. It won't last long, but it'll last long enough to hopefully you can get some water boiled, maybe something you cook. Alright? Now what do you do for the top? I mean, you can't just set your pan directly on it. it'll die. Well, if you watched the last video, then you would see I am using a metal clothes hanger. What if you don't have a metal clothes hanger? This is the hard part. What you're going to have to do is actually move some of this here so the flames can come out. Now you can always try to just squeeze the top, but if you squeeze the top together, then yes, the pan will get some flames coming out, but then your pan's going to be a little bit uneven too. Now that is possible, you can do it. Like that. And if you set your pan on right, you will still have to where the air can get out. Now, to open this up, this is going to be a little bit more difficult, but you can still do it. Basically, you do the top the exact same way you did the bottom. And if it's easier for you, you can always just take it and just use your can opener like this. And you can see how I'm opening that. Okay, what you want to do is you want to get enough to where you can actually get your knife up in here. Now, be careful with this because it could be sharp. And if you need to, use your can opener to open it up a little more. I apologize for the length. Like right here, there's just a little bitty catch right here. So I want to use the can opener there and just push down and break that. And push in right here. And then put your knife up in there. and push in on the can. Do both sides. And this is how it's going to look. As you can tell, this part right here is pushed inward. This part is pushed inward. So when you set your pan here, you can see it'll get air on both sides, and you still have the ring on top to set your pan on, and you have air holes in the bottom. Okay, now what are you going to do for your shower? You already saw me use a freezer bag. What if you don't have a freezer bag? Well, I'm going to show you how to use something that most people actually already have. Pretty much guaranteed you have something along the lines of this in your home. A lot of people do. And that's just using your basic Walmart bag. Okay, you're going to go, well, how can I use a Walmart bag? It's real easy. It's the exact same way that you would use the freezer bag. Let me show you. Here I have a Walmart bag with some tape on it. Same way I did the freezer bag. The thing about a Walmart bag is they are very lightweight, very thin. But if you're using a Walmart bag, say my arm is your shower rod, for your shower. Your shower pipe. Depends on where you put your tape is how you're going to be hanging it. Now normally it would go on a side here, not on the front. I'm just doing it on the front so you can see it. Normally it would go on the side in here somewhere, closer to the bottom. That way when you fill it up with water, you can hang it on your shower pipe where your shower head goes, like this, and the water will be coming out the side. But I'm going to show you basically the same way. Okay, I got some water in there. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit so you can hopefully see it a little bit better. Once again, you take your needle and you punch holes through the tape. And unfortunately this bag has a little hole in it. Other than that, I'm going to get some more water in there. Now, if you are forced to use something like a Walmart bag, um, it's next to impossible to find a Walmart bag without holes in it. Well, if you can find some kind of container that you can just hold over your head to shower off with, you can always do that. A gallon jug, um, a creamer container, something that's hardened plastic, you can fill with water and put some holes in it. Now, due to the plastic, it's going to be harder to put holes in this. But you can make a makeshift shower using something like this. Now, I don't know if you can see the stream coming out because it is really fine. There you go, I think you can see that. Now, using a jug, if you stop pushing on it, the shower pretty much stops. Now, if you push in on it, it starts up again. Something like this will make sure you do not lose all your water unless you're ready to use it. See that? Now, I do have the lid on it. So if I took the lid off, it would suck air in. And using something like this, you could actually hang on your shower rod if you had to, but personally, yeah, no water spilling out unless I squeeze the jug. Then you get a steady shower stream. Once again, I'll show you the little stove. The key to making a stove like this is, one, you have to have your air holes on the bottom. You want to leave your ring on the top, but you want to get it to where you can push in part of the metal here and here, but leave your ring on the top for your pan to sit on. So if you don't want to mess up an extra pan by putting a fire in it, you can make a small stove like this to put paper and wood in, and it will burn, and the fire will come out here along with the top, and it won't kill it because it's still getting air through the bottom and air through the top. Okay? Once again, and this is just out of a regular soup can. Now, my advice to you is, if you make something like this, make it out of a metal coffee can. They are much bigger, much stabler, unless you're using a small pan. You don't want to use a large frying pan or something like this. I mean, it'll just heat up in the center. So, but this is an extreme emergency stove for cooking. You know, whatever you need to cook. You can use wood, paper, probably even charcoal, cardboard boxes, just pieces of stick laying around outside. So in an emergency situation, if you don't have the other things that I showed in the last part of the video, well, I guess it would be the video that I uploaded. This was actually going to be the second part of it, and I decided to wait to upload this today. But that's how you make a little emergency stove just out of a can. Like I said, if you're going to use a coffee can, make sure it's an all metal coffee can. Make sure it's not like cardboard, because it'll just catch on fire. But as long as it's metal, just a small can you can use to make an emergency stove. Remember, you need air holes in the bottom. You need to bend it in on top so air can get in and out right here too. Because if you don't do this, what's going to happen is you're going to set your pan on here and choke your fire. You actually have to have something like this so your fire doesn't choke out. Alright, this is it for the emergency stuff as far as, well, what I can think of right now. I apologize for me being in and out of screen. I'm trying to use my camcorder. Even though I can see it on the computer screen, I actually have to be looking at the computer screen. So, but if you don't have a clothes hanger, like I did on my other video there, use a can. If you have some type of jug, you can use that for a shower. All you have to do is put some holes in it, but the only difference is you actually have to hold that instead of hanging it. So, you know, if you're willing to give up a milk jug or some type of jug with a lid to make yourself a shower, that'll do just fine. As you can see on the jug, the water did not come out unless I actually squeezed the jug. And if you use the jug, you can shut it off like that and actually conserve water. So if you're having to melt snow to make water, then you need to conserve all the water you can. Anyway, this is actually was going to be a continuation of the last video I posted on how to make an emergency cook stove out of household items. This one, I hope, if you have to use any of these techniques, I hope that you make it through whatever you're trying to get through. A bad storm, snow, power failure, whatever. So I hope this helps out. And once again, if you're on the East Coast right now, stay safe, and everyone have a good day.